and you say Shot City and around the world, welcome to another episode of Chicago's ILLectuals podcast. Like, subscribe, and share. Hit that like button. I want to call this episode the PhD Journey episode. Today, our guest star, future doctors, Bryan Haggard and Dr. Aaron Mallory, which some of you may know from a past episode. So what we're going to do right now is just jump right into it. What's up, fellas?
It's good to be here. It's good to be here again, bro.
Yeah. Hey, Bryan, why don't you go ahead and share with the audience a little bit about your background, where you come from?
How y'all doing? My name is Bryan Haggard. I'm from Cabrini Green, from the projects. I'm from, and then we moved from Cabrini to the West Side, so I claim the West Side. And about my background, I went to SIU, Southern Illinois University, for
shout out to the Salukis
all day.
Yeah.
I went to college right after high school, 18 years old, from out west to Carbondale for my first 4 years, and I had a blast. Didn't know what I didn't know what I wanted to study. I thought I was going to be a history teacher, and I changed my major to social work, and then I've just been in social work for a while. Got my master's at U of I. Then after I graduated my master's in 2014, I moved to LA. I did a lot of different things in social work. I've been in psych hospitals. I've been in group homes. I've been in nonprofits, for-profits, and now I own my own private practice, Dash Health Counseling and Consultant. And, I'm a PhD student at Howard. So, yeah, I don't know what else.
It is. Love it. Love it, brother. Listen, man, where exactly did you grow up on the West Side? What was your address when you was living on the West Side?
I don't want to put my address out there, but
you still live there?
No, I don't live there.
Hey, Rodney said, "Hey, look, I need your address, bro."
He said, "Address." I'm from Chicago. I give you the street.
Just stand in good practice. Stand in good practice. I got you.
I give you the streets. The streets was off.
Okay, give me the streets, the cross sections.
Laramie and Division.
Okay, there's a method to my madness. This is why I asked you that, right? So you just explained to the world where you grew up and what your academic journey was, right? So the question I want to ask you is, how were you able to navigate that terrain and not some of the activities that was going on in that area?
I have two different answers.
Okay.
But I think in the past I thought it was me. Like, you're like, oh, I just wanted to be different and do it my way. But now as I got older, I realized two things. It was God and my older brother. My older brother, I was always protected by him, So it's interesting, like men like us, we are blessed, and the guys like before us that did go to the streets or the different avenues of life, they sort of go in that route, but it's sort of like your protection in a way. We don't realize that, like, a lot of the times when people didn't recruit you is because somebody told them not to recruit you, or they made the path easier for you in a way. Like I do still give myself credit. But I do realize that my parents, my siblings, and like my family created a path for me to be able to choose the route that I, chose. So, being from the hood, I started working at like 14, 15, and I've always resented being working class. Like I did not like that. I went to very decent schools. So I lived on the West Side, but I always went to schools in different neighborhoods. So I went to Louisa May Alcott for elementary school right in the middle of Lincoln Park. So imagine taking the Hosted bus all the way north, and you seeing these nice areas, you seeing people out in their yard cooking and chilling, and you go to your area where you it's a possibility that you heard somebody got killed or something, or robbed or hurt in some way. So now that I'm older and I realize that, like, though I know it was me, I give myself credit. I do also give my village credit too. Like, like them protecting me from things that I didn't even know uh, existed. So my parents are very smart. They're avid readers. And I treated education like the streets. My brother used to always say, like, look, I'm out here getting this money this way. I need you to stay focused and get it that way, And what's crazy is my older brother just got baptized um, last Sunday on the 11th. So
That's
just,
dope. That's
I
dope.
wish I was in Chicago to be able to see it, but I got school. But like, it's just so I treat education like a hustle, and
Yeah.
it's my bread and butter. And to be a Black man, fully licensed therapist, like I do understand the responsibility and the people that came before me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just have a different perspective. I just remember being young, like, I want this, and I, and now I'm like, it's all community, like, and um, I wouldn't be here if my mom didn't work security for 30 years, and told me that if I don't get my grades up, I'm out to quit working at the movie theater. I was like 16, like, like, it just, my parents instilled in me education, and my grandparents too. So it's like, just while we're talking about this, I was just literally thinking about my grandfather today. Like, I wonder what he would say to me. Like, he died in 2018. Like,
Mm.
his grandson is in the PhD program at HBCU.
Yeah.
I know he would be like, what? He would be like so proud. And it just makes me proud of myself, and be accepting the leadership that I have to be a future legacy holder for my nieces and nephews, or my possible children one day. So, like, all in all, I definitely put in the work. I was inspired by the people that I've been surrounded and protected by, but then that grit I have is just, I despise not having things, or not having access, like, to things that I felt like was quality for me. So
Hey, man, thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much, man. I heard you talk about family. I heard you highlight culture, right? You talked about community and the protective factors intrinsic in our communities, right? Because those things do exist, right? It's typically the basketball players. Let's just keep it real, right? So you see a young aspiring basketball player that everybody in the hood protects because they think he's gonna make it to the league. But in your case, it was just, you were aspiring to be an academic, and people just, they saw your value, they saw your intelligence, they saw your direction, and they made sure you didn't get distracted, bro. And it's important that we highlight that, because those things do exist in our culture.
I'm blessed. All God, and I had a dad that this was no nonsense. And I grew up in I didn't grow up in the hood. I went to HF. I went to Humboldt Flossmoor High School, South Suburbs. They tried to be on some fake game banging out there, but it ain't nothing like what going on in the city. So I would say that's one.
Yeah.
But two, I had a dad that just he didn't play games. Like he was in my life my whole life. I wouldn't say I was scared of him, but I probably was. Like, I know if I messed up, his foot was going to be in my butt. So, I think that was just a lot of motivation for me to stay focused. Education wasn't really something that was like bombarded on us. My dad, I know he got his bachelor's degree. My mom's. I think just the environment I was in, it was just like, you go to college, like being at HF, everybody just know that's what you're supposed to do. The culture is there, so for me, I think I had man, it's glory to God, and again, and glory to God to having a father who was just really, I think really just taught me how to be a man, and from a lens of just responsibility. Like, I just remember nights my dad would have two jobs, and I'd be asleep, but he'd be working at 3 a.m, working on his video business, and then getting up at 7 a.m. to go work for the state. So just like sheer grind, work ethic. I think this just seeing that as a kid and as a teenager permeated with me to kind of just have that same work ethic. But yeah, like I said, I just been blessed, super blessed.
Ryan, what are your values?
Professional values, personal values, like what kind of values?
All of the above.
Uh, I'm real big on you know what's so crazy? Aaron's wife taught me something a while ago. A couple months ago, we was chopping. Actually, like a year ago, we was chopping it up, and she was like, you know, I believe in the F's: faith, fun, family, and finances. And I think my values like is kind of centered around that. Like I crack jokes a lot because like nothing is very that much, nothing is that serious, you know. So like being able to laugh, um, work hard, have some faith, some spirituality. I value authenticity. I
Mm,
value people being themselves. I value safety, and like safety in from an emotional standpoint. Like I think that a lot of my life I've chased how like making myself feel safe. And now that I'm an adult and I know what I need to feel safe, either for you to be in my life, you have to move how I move. And if you don't move how I move, I don't need you around. So spirituality, fun, safety. I don't want to say loyalty because I'm not really big on loyalty. I think that, you know, and I'm saying this because, you know, people from the hood always like, you got to be loyal. No, I think loyalty is like connected to like uh this belief that you don't disagree with people and you don't hold people accountable. So
mm,
me, I like to counteract loyalty with accountability. Like I
mm.
like people in my life to be accountable for their actions, accountable for their moves, uh, being okay with the fact that they could correct me in a way if I need to be corrected. Um, but I value freedom most and
Ah,
foremost. And freedom to me is the ability to answer to God only.
mm.
Mm, facts.
Love it, baby. Love it. Aaron, same question.
Hey, God is number one. You know, I feel like faith, God is everything to me. Like that's my purpose and my being is Him. Family number two. Um, I would say three is education, and education from the lens of just, you know, not even being on the school tip right now, but just constantly trying to be a learning and figuring out how to, you know, like just my craft, my skills, and even like learning how to be better in my purpose. And then four, I would say is purpose. Like uh I feel like we all are put on this earth to do something, right? Like we all are on a mission. And you know, for me, I really want to get in tune to what my purpose is. I feel like I'm in alignment. I think there's more to it though. You know, I'm just seeking God for that. But just being in tune with my purpose, right? And being driven off of that. I'll say those are like my four guiding points, you know. But Brian says something that I think about every day, and that last part he said around man, like only person you answer to is God. Like
Mm,
I think I got control problems, but not like
mm,
I like control. Like I can't control my destiny, but yeah, I don't think I could ever work a 9 to 5 again. I don't think I could ever, you know, I can never say never, you know, but it's just I don't like people telling me what to do.
mm.
I like I like being able to have a vision and being able to do it. You know, I like not having to deal with tape and bureaucracy. If I got an idea, I want to see it come into fruition. And if people can't see it, they can't understand it. All right, that's cool, but you ain't stopping me. And so, you know, I think since 2020, since you know I've been working for myself full time, and um, it's just the autonomy to have that and to not have to answer to anybody. Of course, you got to answer the guy. You know, I got to answer to the wife and stuff. You know, my wife, she's super cool, so she don't give me a hard time. But like, yeah, like you know, just the ability to like Brian said, like only have to answer to God and control what you want. That's something I value a lot, and it's powerful.
Yeah, man, I love that too, man. And that last statement that Brian made was a very powerful statement, man. That's my reason for feeling like I don't need to lie. How are you so important that I need to lie to you? Well, you know, we gonna deal with the truth. Let's put it on the table. Yeah, but you said a lot, Aaron, and as you were talking, it kind of made me think about the impact that austerity and neoliberal politics have on us, you know, when we're navigating these spaces and we're trying to do our good deeds and things of that nature. And we have a bigger vision, right? And it's obvious because all three of us on the same trajectory. So we have a bigger vision, but if you're working for somebody, that vision will be stifled, right? Because of austerity, right? You have the powers that be on the macro level just basically being the puppet master, right? And all that we get is the trickle down. What we're saying is, hey man, you know, we want to build institutions.
That's right.
You can't build institutions working a 9 to 5. So I totally get what you're talking about, bro. What do you think about that, Brian?
First, I love being from Chicago, you know. And the reason why I say I love being from Chicago, because it's like, this is, if you from Chicago and you believe in God, you unstoppable. And the reason why I say that, because it's like you can't tell me what I can't do. And as a PhD student, you know, the politics and the bureaucracy that you deal with as a student is so funny to me, right? Like, so for example, they'll come to me and say, "Oh, you should apply for this research position. You should apply to do this." And I'm like, "Oh, that's $30,000. Oh, I can make that in my practice, like in 3 months." And then they were like, "Well, you know, it's the connections." I don't care about the connections that you think that I should care about because I'm here, you know? And I met with one of my professors and she was like, "So Mr. Haggard, like, you know, tell me about your future. So why a PhD?" And I was like, "Freedom." She was like, I don't get what you mean. You know, do you want to become tenure? Do you want to become a professor?" Like, I just was looking at her like, explaining to her freedom. And I say freedom because I don't have to work for nobody. Right now, I have a small caseload. I decided to start seeing clients because I'm adjusted to school. And me having my own business, if I wanted to go get all these contracts, I could. I can make as much money as I want to make right now. But the fact that I'm in school, it does, you know, tailor how I'm trying to move. But it's interesting because I started just saying that I love I'm from Chicago and I believe in God because my professors think that I'm supposed to have a route similar to the way that
Yeah.
they move.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I ain't moving like that. They're like, "But you know, you could get you know, you in DC, there's so many opportunities." Bro, I'm not working 40 hours a week for nobody. Nobody. No lie, I did apply for a fellowship, and I'm predominantly around a lot of women. I applied for a fellowship for the summertime. I don't mind working full time in the summertime. Yeah, y'all can pay my rent, but you think I'm about to work for y'all a year for 40 hours a week? No. What you think that I can make with you, I can make double on my own. And I say that because it's like, even in academia, you can have freedom. You don't have to buy into the politics of how they think that you're supposed to move. And and I think that we'll learn real short. Like when we go into these conferences, even like the conferences, like as a first year, they like, "Oh, are you going to submit for this conference?" No, I'm not. I'm a first year. I'm in total control of my academic career, how I want to move. And I'm okay with that. And I think that like at this level, I'm not trying to prove myself to y'all. Like I was driving down the street the other day, today actually, and I thought I submitted my paperwork to get licensed in DC. I'm 32 years old and I'm about to be licensed in 2 states. And I'm saying like y'all can't tell me what to do.
That's dope.
You're not gonna tell me what to do. You can advise me. I could listen to you and hear you out, but you're not gonna tell me what to do because I think that it's so interesting when Black people in academia, at least the ones that I've been experiencing so far, they still a slave to that hustle, trying to be known with certain publishing, trying to get on a certain journal. I don't care about that stuff. I'm not doing this to be known as a writer or, you know, like they're like, "So you don't care about tenure?" Not at 32. No, I don't care about tenure. And I don't think I possibly will because I have a business.
Mm.
I'm already a business and I own my name. You don't own my name. I do. And I think that sometimes I'm glad that you're doing this because I'm able to share this now, but I know I can't share it in those spaces because it's predominantly women. My cohort is all women, and they like, oh, they look at I'm very much an outlier, right? I sound crazy. I sound real Kanye to them. Like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I ain't doing it. I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not doing it. And it's so wild because Aaron said too, like, I'm not working for nobody. And me learning the power of no, I think I want to write a book called The Power of No because it's a book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle is great. But what about the power of no? I own myself. So you can't tell me what to do or how to move or what to work or how to work. And I love it. Like it's just so it's so empowering and I feel so free that I'm able to manage my own career or manage things that I'm moving. And sometimes my issue is I project that freedom onto other people and they don't want that. I go in spaces and I empower people and I'm like, no, girl, you ain't gotta do that. Tell them no. Tell them you don't want to go to the conference. You gotta do this or you gotta do this. And I know that was long-winded, but it makes me just think about like I'm so blessed to be able to have total control over like how I want to move. And I'm confident enough that if I wanted to go work, I can go work.
Yeah.
But if I don't want to work, I don't have to work. And nobody can make me feel um, a way about how I want to navigate my world or my career. And I think that they make us feel like anomalies, right? You're a therapist. You're a black male therapist. We need you here. We need you. But they don't want to pay you. But they don't want you to know your worth. And you can become too much in these spaces when you know your worth. So it's like that's why I believe in God and I'm from Chicago. So yeah.
Man, peace, brother. That's so dope. And you have me reflecting on my journey now. He has me reflecting now, Aaron, because I actually started my private practice right before I began the PhD program, right? And I was also teaching. I've been teaching. And I happen to have an African department chair at the university, right? That's very supportive. And I feel that freedom that you're talking about, right? Even with being in a PhD program, I know that if worse came to worse and you want to try and erase my culture in real time, I could easily walk away and do well, right? I could easily walk away. I mean, I had so many clients before I started the PhD program that it was starting to become overwhelming, right? As an African-American male therapist from the South Side of Chicago who's licensed, right? So and the demographics where I am is a bit different, right? So, and I'm going to ask you guys this question as well. My cohort consists of 4 people. And those 4 people are from Colombia, a young lady from Colombia, another young lady from Mexico, right? And then a guy from India, okay? And me. Not only am I the only African-American male, I'm the only American, okay? So those demographics are a bit different. And I'm at an elitist Catholic institution, right? And some of those same type of austerity politics play out, right? Some of those same type of things play out where they try and be the puppet master, and I'm just like, no, I'm your equal, and to some extent, I've gone beyond your position, right? Without a PhD, right? so I'm with you, Brian. I'm not doing this to wear credentials on my sleeve. I'm doing this to position myself to partner with you guys so we can build institutions, man. So, Aaron, what's your cohort demographics? What are the demographics of your cohort?
Man, I got a cohort of 11.
Mm.
Majority white, I think we got 1 Hispanic, 3 Koreans, and then me. You know, I'm the only black, person in there. You know, so it's been cool. Like, I'm in my own island, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, my court, they cool. I just been so focused that, I'm on a mission. Like, for me, I came here to get this PhD to learn a research game. Like, strictly research. Like, I'm trying to learn how to publish. I'm trying to learn how to take all the work I've been doing in my practice on the mental health side. You know, our specialty is working with boys and men impacted by the criminal justice system. So we're a lot of young people that are, perpetrators of gun violence, got gun cases on probation, men coming home from prison. And I really want to figure out how we just take this to the next level. And we want to create curriculum, content. But that research is everything. Like, people want to see, what's your data? People want to see, like, hey, how is this evidence-based? And I want to be able to have evidence-based models. So for me, like, I'm here trying to learn research and also how to make myself an expert in this space. But using research to make myself that expert. So now I can say, oh yeah, I got publications where I've done research around all of these things. But I think also too, I'm trying to solve a problem. Like, the leading cause of death of Black men in this country is homicide. And the disproportionate higher. When I say men, like, that's, let me go back a little bit. Between the ages of 0 and 35, the leading cause of death of Black men between that age range is homicide. And like, everybody else, homicide is like number 5, number 4. Every other race, Hispanic is kind of number 2. But you look at, for Black men and Black boys, homicide is what's killing us. And then it's like accidental and then other stuff, right? So for me, like, when I leave this earth, we gonna be like everybody. We ain't dying because of homicide. Little Black boys ain't dying because this craziness that's going on, right? So for me, as I'm learning the aspects that's causing it clinically, there's also some macro things. But I think being able to learn how research plays, and I got a lot of ideas around best practices that can solve these problems. I got to get it in the literature. I got to get it out there, So for me, it's been cool because I'm just learning research. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm learning how to do quantitative. I'm learning how to do multi-level regressions. I'm learning how to do qualitative studies. I'm learning how this publishing game works. They teach me how to think through this. So, but I think some of the things Brian was saying too, putting you in that box where everybody is programmed to be faculty, get a 10-year position. Everybody's like, hey, publications, not publications to solve problems, publications just to put it and write it so that they can help you get in your 10-year track. And for me, like, and it's even like, they be like, yeah, well, you got to be careful what you write about. You kind of want to be real, just neutral, right? Just what you got to, just so you can appease to get your 10-year. And I'm like, man, what we writing for? Like, I always thought that people in academia was trying to solve problems. And I'm starting to see that ain't the case. It's more like, I'm trying to climb this ladder in academic, because the currency in academia is publications, right? Like, the more publication, that's how you climb the ladder, but you could be writing garbage, And for me, I'm dead set on, I'm not writing garbage. I'm writing solutions to a problem. And I'm doing experiments to come up to the solution to the problem, And so for me, I don't want to, I ain't trying to, I think I entertained being a professor for like a month. And then what happened to that sister at Harvard, how they did her, I was like, yeah, I'm good. Because it kind of brought back memories from when I was teaching. And I said, it was just a motivation. Like, I'm going to open up my own. I'm going to have my own social work university, you know what I'm saying? Have a for-profit, not a nonprofit side to it. It's going to specialize in a bachelor's in social work, a master's in social work program, just own my own thing, right? And it ain't as hard as people think it is. And I'll be able to create the minds and shape and create the army that can go out and attack this issue so that we can get that homicide rate down. And just teach people how to do this coaching competently and right. Like, I think we got to transform how we do academics. Like, what's a grade? Like, even grades to me is like, man, somebody can get an A but don't know nothing, or like don't know how to apply it in real life, right? Like, all these theories and stuff. Like, how do we take what we learn and make it practical? I think one of the things that used to frustrate me in grad school is we just talk theories all day, but we weren't learning how to do this stuff hands-on, right? Like, my thing is, I want to teach people how to do hands-on. When you leave here, hey, you're gonna be ready. You're gonna be a clinician. You're gonna know how to get out here. You're gonna know how to do this work. You ain't gonna be second guessing yourself. You're gonna know. And if you want to do research, we're gonna show you how to do research. One thing I do like about my school, I'm at University of Cincinnati, they teach research. Like, this is the first time I've been in school, and it's like I'm walking away with tangible tools. So shout out to them. They've definitely, really just opened up my brain on how to think on this research side. But that's it. That's all I got. My bad.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that. And to answer your question, man, grades on the PhD level simply exist as a weeding out process, right? You got these people who are gatekeepers, okay? And especially when you're at a university like the ones that in particular you and I are at, Aaron, right? Because you never know who's who, right? You never quite know who it is that's leading the class, so to speak, right? What their true intentions are, right? And, you know, I remember being a part of the interest interview, the orientation, and I had this interview, and you had like 4 people on the panel, and you know, this thing came up, man, and you know, this is the beginning of the nonsense, right? So everything was going well, Q&A, we moving on down the line. So finally, you know, one of the people on the panel says to me, well, you know, we don't have any African-American male faculty, and in case you might want a research mentor who's an African-American male, I said, hold up a second, right? Simply because it's an African-American male doesn't necessarily make it a good fit. I'm looking for departmental support, okay? When I get to the point that I need to choose a mentor for my research journey, then I think I'll be well informed enough to make that choice, right? And so you moving on, you know, to this point, and I'm starting to see that this is like a machine, right? This is another one of those systems that you have to navigate. And all 3 of us we have social work backgrounds, so we know all about navigating systems, right? And so, you know, I think it's important to just see it for what it is. Kind of like stay on your P's and Q's, stay on your toes, and never really let your guard down. But at the same time, man, I'm trying to do some quality work. Like, you know, my research interest is the implementation and operationalization of IEPs and 504s in the Chicago public school system toward African-American youth with mental health diagnosis, right? We know that they push our youth toward meds, right? They don't even really consider any of the many alternatives that's available, right? They're pushing, and which lets me know, you know, and as a researcher, they don't want you to really say this, but I've been in those IEP meetings, and I see how, you know, they snatch the agency from the parents during the decision-making process. They do that in real time by speaking over their heads, right? And kind of like othering them, right? And my thing is simply this, man. You know, you have children and adolescents who have been assessed and who have been said to have a mental health diagnosis, right? And in the face of them having a mental health diagnosis, first of all, they come from disinvested in communities. They come from healthcare deserts. They come from quality education deserts, right? And most of them, probably about 95% of my caseload when I was at a nonprofit, you know, they were single parent households, right? And so I think these systems frame them in a way and victimize them, man, to get the funding, right? To get the funding from the IEP and the 504s, but more so to get the benefits from the psych doctors, right? Who are pushing the meds, okay? So they playing this game on our people, and I'm saying, hey, man, I'm not gonna be a part of, you know, making a decision for families that could have far-reaching implications, right? Because a lot of times the meds that they push are still in trials, right? Sometimes they're using our youth for guinea pigs. And so that's my thing too, Aaron. You know, I'm gonna just find a way to strategize and write the substance of the problem, right? Write about the substance of the problem, you know, interview some people, some qualitative interviews, probably some quantitative surveys and things of that nature. But I'm gonna get the people's experiences, and we're gonna run that data and see what the outcomes are, right? And then we'll come up with some solutions. But I'm with you on that, bro. Brian, what's your area, research area? What area of research are you interested in?
First, I want to speak on the fact that y'all both at white institutions and y'all dealing with the
Yeah.
and only black males around. Woo, that's I'm proud of y'all. I hope and we got a group chat, so vent in the chat if y'all need it. Y'all know I'm at HBCU. It's a different experience.
Yeah.
My my research interest is examining the relationship between black male clinicians and black male clients, and how the and what that relationship means and what it represents, and how we can impact their lives in a very positive way. What's crazy is I had a session with a client for the first time yesterday in almost 6-7 months, and I worked with him for about a year. And dog, I literally could have cried in the session to see a grown man utilizing all the things that we discussed in his life of the year of therapy. It was very transformative. So I think I'm excited to dig into how men getting services like mental health services, black men getting mental health services from black male therapists,
Mm-hmm.
and like just the magnitude of the impact that we can make. And it's possibly could be similar to Aaron's research interest too. Like getting these services is vital to their existence.
Yeah.
The life expectancy of a black man is like 55, is relatively low. Um, in the black community, we die early, and we die early for many various reasons. Even professional men like us uh, still don't live, a lot of the times due to the pressures that we put on ourselves. So yeah. So like being at Howard, I feel like I'm supported, and like I love what y'all saying, because I'm treating my program like that too. Like this is a hustle, baby. Like yeah, show me how to run these stats so I can go get a $3 million grant. Show me how to do all this, because I can get a $3 million grant through my practice. If that's the case, I got a business. You know what I mean? Like show me this. And you know what's so wild? At my orientation, I made my dean upset because I said, she was
You
like,
too, huh?
why are you getting a PhD? I said, for the discipline. And she was like, what do you mean? For the discipline. I'm
Right, you stupid.
she, but you get it though.
Is the
You get
discipline
it.
not necessary, man? It was a lady, right?
Yeah, it was a ma'am.
It was a
It
male. Is the discipline
yeah,
not necessary, sir?
no, but she didn't get it though. She
It's
didn't get it. Like, so
necessary.
I got hella ideas for books. Yes, train me so I can go get this money for me.
Yeah. Yeah. The discipline is absolutely necessary.
Yeah, and one of the professors said that. She was like, "Oh, I love that young man. I didn't say it to be tenured. I didn't say it to be a professor, to be a grand writer with my name in lights. No, I want freedom, and I'm doing it for the discipline." Like Aaron said, like learning this stuff, us learning all of this stuff on the business side. Oh my God. Do you know how you can transform your life with just understanding the business entities of things? Like research is very important, and we don't be knowing how to look at the outcomes. A lot of business owners, they be looking 5-10 years ahead,
Mm.
and they use research to sustain their businesses.
And to guide it, yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, like in order, you could talk about a lot of this stuff in theory, right?
Mhm.
Of how I want to make an impact. But in order for you to go, present your information to some sharks that got money to invest in you,
Yeah.
or money to partner with you, you got to know what you talk about. You
And
got to
you should
prove.
probably have some evidence of your model in practice as well, like Aaron and I have done, right?
Yeah, you
We
should
both
prove.
had youth programs. We've seen our models in action. So that's what's going to really be powerful when you're pitching your model, right? But continue, Brian.
Yeah, no, I was just agreeing with both of y'all. Like um, we got to make sure we taking care of ourselves too, fellas. That's all I'm saying. It's a lot. There's not a one man's army thing. Like you can't move the world with just by yourself. They said Jesus had 12 disciples. So
Yeah.
well, that's what they said. So
No doubt, no doubt. This
That's
is
the
real
word
dope,
say.
man. This is real dope. I really appreciate y'all taking out the time, man, because I know we all busy, but this needed to be done, bro. This needed to be done. Let's talk a little bit about future aspirations, right? And I want to start with you, Aaron, because I've really been thinking about what you've told me in regards to your vision, right? And you've always had vision. And you always include me somehow. I don't even ask to be included, man. You're like, come on. But if you can speak as much as you can or as you wish to about this university, man, because we're about like institution building. So if you can speak as much as you can, I mean, because sometimes you might not want to say too much, but if you care to elaborate just a little bit on your vision, in regards to this university and your future aspirations.
Man, well, no, I appreciate you for asking, and no, I'm gonna share it all because I'm big on speaking into existence, right? Like, can't nobody take my ideas because they don't see how God has given it to me and how God wants me to implement it. So with that, like, it's unstoppable. And so I guess like ultimate like trajectory goals, I'm gonna just kind of throw it out there because again, I feel like the more I talk about it, the more it forces me to do it. And then ultimately, like, how do I get to this university, right? So, right now I would say like I've created goals for each year. So this year, with my first year being in the PhD program, like my goal is to put out 10 publications. That's the goal, right? But these 10 publications are kind of really focused on my passion around gun violence. So starting off with, I'm working on like a pre-post within subject study, looking at clients' mental health diagnosis scores. So we do a lot of quantitative data that grows to see the reduction. So that's one publication I'm working on. Another one is a systematic review on why young people carry guns, particularly in urban city areas. A lot of literature is really back from like the 90s and 80s of why young people carry guns. And we know it's different now. You know what I'm saying? 80s and 90s, you had the crack epidemic. You had a lot of things that's going on.
Social media.
Yeah. So it's a lot of factors now.
And even COVID. COVID is even a
Yeah. So then the third is a qualitative. We're about to do a qualitative study, taking 50 young people in Chicago and Cincinnati who are on probation for gun cases, and we're gonna do it. Just hey, why do you feel the need to carry guns? We got different themes we're gonna pull out of there, but just to kind of go along with the systematic review, and then we're gonna follow that up with a survey with young people. For the quantitative to be able to, kind of flow from there, as well as working on a qualitative that I'm almost done with, looking at why low-risk guys in Chicago carry guns. So, in the city of Chicago, carrying a gun is a class 4 felony if you get caught, if you don't have a concealed carry. And we look at all arrest rates have went down for every other crime except possession of firearms. But, we do a pilot that grow. We've been doing a gun first-time offender, and we've been seeing a lot of these guys who getting these charges, class 4 felonies. They're not the guys driving violence. These are guys who they scared. They lost a friend, a family member to gun violence. They working. I got guys that's in IT, working full-time jobs, doing what they got to do. They had the FOIA card, but they didn't do all the stuff to get the conceal, or they ain't had the money, or they didn't. They were just waiting. And, it's like, hey, I still got to move around. I'm in dangerous communities, what I do. So we did a qualitative, I got like 30 interviews done. We've analyzed the data. My professor just kind of been tweaking it. And I can go on and on about it, but so I have specific things, but my goal is I'm kind of investing in some of my research right now. I got some little small grants. But the goal right now is just to build my name up, build my literature repertoire up. So first year, second year doing that. But in the process, I want to open up a university. It's really figuring out how to get a charter within what state it makes sense to do it. The accreditation that goes along this. So you got to get like a higher education accreditation, as well as a ASWE accreditation to be able to do, or CSWE. Well, no, but there's accreditation to be able to do a social work accreditation as well. And the goal is hopefully within the next 3 or 4 years, begin to position myself to be able to have the literature and the research to be able to track these grants, because I want to be able to graduate and have a $3-4 million grant that's waiting that could go straight to my university.
No, we're looking at 10 or 20, bro. We need 10 or 20.
All right, let's speak it. Big facts. I love it. Go higher, right?
We're talking 4 years from now. Come on, we need
that's facts.
money.
I receive that, right? But the whole vision behind that too is that then we open up this university, and again, it's focused on social work because we social workers, but we're gonna target. There's a shortage shortage of black men. So we also working on a qualitative study, and I might have to highlight some of y'all too. But we want to interview why black men go into social work, because there's a shortage. There's only about 2% of black men that actually go into the social work field, right? And so there's a disparity, right? And so one of the challenges is that oftentimes a black male, they want to talk to somebody that look like them, right? They want to talk to somebody who is a male who they can connect with. And so we have that shortage. And so our goal is to target black men to go into the field. We provide an education for them. I'm not discriminating towards our ladies too. They can come to the university as well. But we'll have a niche for black men, and, you know, finding a way to get them there, and being able to educate them. And in that, you know, with my company, Brian got a company. I mean, we know brothers, they got practices. Hey, we're guaranteeing jobs too. You come here, we're going to train you up, because now we're training people up for the workforce. And I think too, with us being entrepreneurs and most academia, they not really connected to the employer sector like we are. But I mean, shoot, I mean, we in Chicago with Grow. We got 3 staff in Cincinnati, and we growing, about to be in Cleveland, about to be in Columbus, I'm sorry, trying to get to Detroit. And so like, we'll have, like, for me, the university is going to be an army. Like, you know, I ain't got to be trying to put ads out to find employees. Man, we getting them trained, we getting them ready, and they coming straight to Grow or wherever else, right? And so, you know, it's almost like a combination of the workforce. We already taken that because we already providing the service, but now we're building the talent to come out. Because my thing is quality.
Yeah.
I think the thing that keeps me up at night is, you know, as we grow, my organization grows, is how we make sure we provide a quality service, how we make sure that people aren't disappointed when they come into our doors, right? And so I think also we're to train the future clinicians on how to do this quality work for Black people and how it's supposed to be done. I think we can win. So, and it goes back to like what Brian said earlier, it's freedom. Ain't nobody can tell me what I can and can't do. Like, I do what I want, I educate what I want. My curriculum's gonna be my curriculum. And it's gonna be empowering, it's gonna be uplifting. And I think the other part too is that we gotta think about how we connect the diaspora. Like, us as Black people, sometimes we're not connected to Africa. We should.
Yeah.
We should. We've been conditioned not to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It bothers me, but we need to be intentional about connecting to the diaspora, because at the end of the day, we win when we're connected collectively, us together, right? Because Black people in Africa deal with the same things we've been dealing with in America, the conditioning that's been done to the mind on both sides. But the resources that our brothers and sisters have in Africa, that if we work together, we can uplift a whole generation out of poverty, right? The wealth gap don't change in Black America. It ain't changed. It doesn't change. It's still barely 1%, right? Africa is the richest continent in the world, but the poorest. Make it make sense, because everybody pillaged from them. But if us as Black people across the diaspora work together, connect together, yo, we could be a force. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could change the game out here. So the university is just one part of it, into the overall ultimate goal of connecting the diaspora. But I can't focus too much on Africa when Black men are dying here in America, right? Like, I focus on it, but I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I can't go over there, and I gotta take care of home too, right? So, but we're gonna figure that out, then we'll get over there too. So yeah.
I'm planning to get to Ghana this year too, man. I'm trying to carve out time now. I'm trying to see how.
Bro, it do something to your spirit when you. I mean, every time I go, I'm trying to get back to Nigeria this year. It just do something to your spirit. Like, I don't know, like I love it. Every time I go, I feel like home. Like, it's just.
I gotta make
love.
I tried to go on the trip. Howard is going to Cape Town and Ghana. I tried to go.
That's hard.
Yeah. So it's all of my cohort except me and another person ain't going to Cape Town, but they're going to Cape Town for a week.
Ooh, that's love.
So Howard is crazy because one of the Black principles of Howard is internationalization, connecting Black people across the diaspora. That's literally one of the values in the School of Social Work.
Yeah, that's huge, man. We got to, man. I think our liberation comes when we connect back to Africa. I think economically, I think just spiritually, who we are, the brokenness that's happened to us as a people. When we tap back in and we intentional about tapping back in, that's when we're gonna get our true power. You know,
that's crazy you should say that, because I feel like I owe it to my trajectory. I feel like that's going to be the cornerstone to my trajectory. I mean, I've done a lot of things, but I think this is going to be the thing that's going to really push me over the top, mentally, psychologically, emotionally. Like, it's going to really, I just feel that in my spirit, man. Brian.
Aaron want to open a university. You hiring, bro?
Yeah, he put that in
Hey,
the
Brian,
chat.
you gonna be there.
He
You
put
gonna
that
be
in the
there.
chat. Are you hired? I'm like,
You and Rodney
Brian
over there,
don't
y'all.
even know. He don't know how Aaron moves. Aaron and I
Y'all
already
both gonna be
executive
over
speak.
there. This
Are
why.
you
Hey,
He
hiring,
already
bro?
got his
I
people in mind. You don't know Aaron.
hey, y'all already come on.
no, I
Man, look,
already
hey,
know he
God
could.
already gave
I
me the
already know
vision.
he gonna be
I
like.
just gotta put the work in, man.
I already know he gonna be like, B. I got a project I need you to get on.
I already know.
So I get it. That was so inspiring, Aaron. You got me thinking. For me right now, my goal for the next 2 years is just get through these classes and pass my comps. No lie, like I'm really focused on uh like I'm focused on like trying to be a student again because I think that it requires a different level of focus that I haven't done in so long, and it's a discipline to sit your ass down and read and excuse my language, to sit down and do some work. So my goal for now is to finish my classes. By the second year, I want to open up an office in DC as well as Chicago. I feel like I want to get some brothers and sisters in person. I think virtual therapy, I've been being successful with it, but I do think that it's time for me to expand the business higher. I just hired a clinician. I think I need to hire some more more men to bring on, and as much as I love therapy, I do love the freedom, but I do think that there has to be a level of like community service that I offer.
Yeah.
So I do see myself doing some nonprofit work or establishing a 501c within my business to do some community help because it's two districts out here in DC, bro. The stuff that they face, District 7 and 8, man, like my professors, they're not even my professors. They're just professors in the social work department. They go out on Saturdays and Sundays and go out here and do stuff with these populations and do a lot of research to help, and they volunteer. And that's the type of stuff that I that matters. I feel like I feel like I got into social work and I exhausted myself so bad, so hard that I removed myself from that type of work. But I do think that young clinicians need a person could be guided by like showing them how to navigate these spaces. So finish my classes within this 2 years. I do think that I have to get a physical location for my practice. I submitted my paperwork to get licensed out here, so I got to do the whole business list of things to actually establish a business in DC. But once I get a physical location in DC or Chicago, I think that I'll definitely be unstoppable, as well as like provide like community services to certain areas. I'm from out west, so I don't know any counseling agency on the west side of Chicago, like none. A lot of the therapists in Chicago that do offer in person, they're in the South Burbs. They're all in the outskirts. Nobody have like a practice in the city. I think that offering like a community services somewhere in the city will be beneficial. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I do think that there's been always a goal of mine to like do some type of community help, like community work. And but I don't want to exhaust myself. Like I think that I'm taking my time. Like I didn't take clients last semester. I'm seeing about 8 to 9 clients right now, and it feels good to like slow down just like a little bit, like even walk to the car a little slower, and be intentional about like taking care of myself, because I think that we call it one of my mentors call it compulsive. You can be compulsive to succeed based on some of your past childhood traumatic experiences. So this need to always do this and be on the go. So yeah, like right now I'm gonna just cruise through these classes, be intentional about networking. I'm speaking on at an event for some AKAs this Thursday, and I'm like finally saying yeah to things because I say yeah to everything to a point where I was tired as hell, and I think that we do a disservice to ourselves when we're not okay, but we're trying to be okay out in the community, and I think that when you break in generational curses and you an anomaly and you just doing this doing good work. This work is exhausting to the spirit.
That's
So I
taxing.
think that you got to be very careful with how you navigate. Like reading about killings and talking to young people about how their trauma and like you got to think about your psyche too, like
Yeah,
what this stuff does to the mind and you you know. So I've been being intentional about making sure that I have fun
yeah, yeah.
and take care of myself, you know. But I do know, you know, that freedom does come with some dollar signs too. So I do know that I do want to, you know, branch out and do a little bit more things. And it's so interesting because I talked to one of my professors too about it, and she just was like, "Young man, you're gonna do great." And I know I don't think I've ever not done anything that I set myself out to do. And I remember I like first semester walking on Howard campus, like, yo, I'm really a PhD student at Howard University. Like, this is crazy. It's hard as hell to get in Howard. Like, it's really, really hard. Like, people get rejected every day from this place. So I don't take it lightly that I'm here. So but people be like, oh, how you gonna start a practice and then go to get a PhD? Watch me. And
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Don't project your failures onto me.
not even fears. Don't project your fears. And also, I think
Yeah,
that we got to teach young people that. Can I ask y'all something? I want to ask y'all a question though, because I think that people think that they be like, "Oh, what's your secret?" I be scared as shit. I be petrified, bro. I be crying, shaking, praying. But guess what? I don't not do. I don't
quit.
stop.
You don't
That's
quit.
it.
Yeah,
They
Yeah,
think you don't
man.
supposed to be bro. I'll be patch. I'm in a whole different city by myself. My entire family is in a different place. And I'm still running my practice, going to class. I be scared as hell, but I don't stop.
yeah.
That's facts.
That's dope,
That's
man.
facts, bro.
That's
I
dope.
feel like no, I feel you, bro, on that. Like this is faith, bro. I just be trusting God, like it's gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like when I get those feelings of doubt or anxiety or fear, because they definitely come. Um, I just lean back on like, you know, I feel like I'm fulfilling my purpose, and you know, God and brought me through all the other stuff. He gonna take care of me here too. You know what I'm saying? Like, and He has. I mean, it's been crazy just making that transition to Cincinnati. You know, like you know what I got operating in Chicago, got a whole team out there, and by the grace of God, though, we ain't skipped a beat. We still flowing, you know. But I feel you, Brian. It do be them days of nervousness, of fear, of anxiety that come on to me. But that's when I lean on the God. Like I be hitting them prayers like God. I don't know why I'm feeling this way, but I trust you, man. I need you. Real talk. Like I feel like my faith has amplified
Yeah.
like
That's why
crazy since.
That's why I said it because people be like, because you know, like you know, they have all these powerful events, like go speak to the guy that made $1 million and did all. What is this? What is your secret? These niggas be scared, bro. We be scared as hell. We just don't stop.
Yeah.
We pray, bro. I have cried so much since I've been in DC. Cried so much, crying and crying in the car, crying and praying and just crying and praying. But like, and I think that too. Like, I want men to know that they have to, believe in like affirmations. Like I always say, money comes to me easily and unexpectedly. And guess what? I've
Absolutely.
never needed for anything
Yeah.
ever, ever, because I believe I move as if it's already handled.
Yeah.
even when I'm scared and nervous. And I also think that we be thinking that when you pray, your anxiety gonna go. No, nigga, I still got anxiety. I still be having anxiety. It's the duality. I do believe God is still here, and yes, I'm still scared, and that's okay.
Yeah, all day. All
That's
day.
dope.
I feel you.
Hey, that's really
I feel
dope,
you on
man.
that.
I'm sitting here and man, I think I said on my last episode, it's not often that I get goosebumps, and it's not right, but I'm actually getting goosebumps because first of all, man, y'all said a lot, man. That's really dope because um, that fear will creep in, imposter syndrome will creep in, uh, and I can honestly say to you that I feel that I prayed more consistently during this time in my life than at any other point in my life, right? And I'm telling you, I'm praying to the ancestors. I'm talking to my grandmother who's no longer here. I'm talking to some of the elders that might not be here no more, man. And it doesn't. It's not like it's miraculous. It doesn't miraculously erase the anxiety or the fear, but what it does is it gives you enough poise and calm to be able to trust the process, right? And you look around and the fear and the anxiety is no longer there. But you have to keep your composure though, right? You have to keep your composure, man, because I mean, some of these systems and the components of the systems that we're charged with navigating are a first for us, right? So we might do well in navigating some components of it because some of their behavior might be recognizable to us, and we're familiar with that, so we're able to navigate that pretty easily. But there are other components of these systems that are new, right? Especially when you're in a predominantly white institution, right? I mean, I remember walking into the lobby, bro, and just like there's always a long line of people waiting to get on the elevator, and I'm looking at that line, and I'm not seeing like not even two black people out of like 150 people, right? And I'm walking in there and I'm still brimming with confidence, but at the same time, I'm human and I'm just like that little feeling of imposter syndrome. But at the same time, I often don't even feel like I have the time to really be afraid. That's why I pray so much, right? I be driving on my way, man. I be in the car. I mean, everywhere, whenever you need to do it, right? That's why prayer is so powerful because you can do it anywhere at any time,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? And it's been powerful. Brian, I want to say to you, when that time comes that you choose to apply for your 501c3, right? Make sure you give me a call because I think you should probably consider the 501c3 series, right? The 501c3 series affords you the ability to have 4 different businesses under the umbrella of that one 503, right? And it's like the cost is only like it's not even $200 more. It's like $150, $160 more than just having the normal 501c3, right? And so as you were talking, I was thinking about that because what you'll find in business is, once we start to engage in capacity building, you'll find that your vision becomes broader and you'll feel like you can do more, right? So if you have that space already there, then you don't have to go through the process again. You already have it, right? So this falls under your umbrella, which is really cool, right? So just make sure you remember that, man. The 501c3 series.
Yeah, yeah, I know
Um,
what you. But it just be the being in a different state. They
mhm.
still require certain state stuff. You know what I mean? Like being in DC, you have to have like you still got to get like your business license being in a different state. Like that's what I was referring to. Like
Right,
the
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but I appreciate that though, because I do. Aaron always talk about the nonprofit world, and I'll be like, yeah,
Yeah.
and
So yeah, just reach out when you need to, when you get to that point. It's cool.
I get
But our conversation, man, leads us to mentorship, right? Academic or otherwise, right? Now we're talking support systems. We're talking like, who are the people, man, that you find yourself reaching out to now? Because I know my circle has changed. I talk a lot with the elders. I talk a lot with you guys, and I try and seek out people who has had this experience, or they've had a significant amount of life experience to where it positions them to be able to provide me with some substantial information regarding this journey that I'm on right now. And so, like, how important is mentorship to you guys at this phase of your personal and academic development? Where you at with that, Aaron?
Man, on campus, I got a couple professors who really just looked out for me. Some Black professors. Dr. Campbell is one. Man, I meet with her monthly. She dropping jewels on me and really didn't taught me like just delegation. Like, Aaron, you ain't got to do everything, especially in research. They make it seem like you got it, like, just be strategic. She teach me how to be strategic in research, and so I really appreciate that. And then I would say he's Hispanic, Dr. Laverzo, but he's been teaching me this qualitative game, just really intentional, making sure I be great in it, and really just kind of cultivating me in regards to that. And then Dr. Bennett, another brother that's here, professor here on campus, who's kind of teaching me the community game. So Dr. Brunson, he's out in Maryland, been really giving me some feedback on how to sharpen my papers, sharpen my research. So I've really been intentional about trying to find a research
mentor
community.
Oh, community.
Mentor.
Community.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. So like, people of color who are in this research space who can really pour in and kind of give me that guidance, and that's attaching. And I think that's one of the things too. Like, I think, like, I really like about Cincinnati is it's super diverse. Like it's a PWI, but like it ain't Chicago. Like, the culture is way chill, way calm. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got that. It ain't, you go to Chicago, you know what I'm saying. But like it ain't that. Like, it's like, I feel support here. I feel like people want to see me succeed. And so like a lot of, like it's God though. Like, I'm in a really good culture. I'm in a really good space. There's people that look like me that's here that I can draw on and get support from and bounce ideas off. And people that don't like me too that just want to see me win too. So but on the mentor side, I think I've been more intentional about like trying to find academic mentors because this is new to me. And I'm trying to figure out what's the best angle I can go in to be successful in this research game.
Yeah. Brian, what does mentorship look like for you personally, academically?
What's so crazy? I know a lot of Black women with their PhDs and they're clinicians too. So I'm always looking for guidance, like Aaron said. I'm always looking for guidance on how to navigate this research stuff. But I'm getting to know my professors. Being the first year, like, I don't really know them, so I'm like going in offices and having candid conversations just to see who I mush with or vibe with in a way. Because in undergrad, it was so different. Like, my professors were always available. Like, I felt like I'm trying to create that undergrad experience for myself, like in the PhD program. But I think just being around people that is doing the same thing you're doing. So I'm in this group called the Black. Are y'all in Discord?
No, I'm not.
I'm gonna send it to y'all. Discord is this Black app for Black PhD people all around the damn US. Like, literally, I gotta send it. I'm gonna send it to y'all right now. So I'm in a group.
Hard.
I'm in a group called Discord, and it's like literally Black PhD people all across the damn United States of America. And then I'm also in a Black DMV group, Black students, Black PhD students. And they actually had a brunch today. So I'm always literally surrounded by Black people in the community that's in PhD. programs, and they advocating and they let me know what classes. I also advise y'all to talk to the other people in your program. Like if you know some third years, go out to lunch with some third years. Go out to lunch with some second years and fourth years. Like that's been really helpful for me, like talking to them and like just like getting to know getting to know them. It's been really helpful. But I do believe that mentorship matters. But I also think that mentorship that is that is incorporated with your same value system. You know what I mean? Because I think people will try to guide you to what they want you to do versus like what you believe that you want to do. So I'm always surrounded with PhD students.
Yeah.
And a lot of my mentors have their PhDs, like Dr. Derek Williams, and the I'm really close to him. I'm really close to a few Anasia, Stafford, Anasia Stafford, right, Aaron?
Yeah, she was on
Yeah,
the podcast. Yeah.
yeah. She my fam. She
She was on your podcast, Aaron?
Yeah. I think I dropped her episode like a week ago.
Yeah, she family. She my sister. She like, bro.
She went
She
to
on the
Carbondale, didn't she?
Yeah, she went to Carbondale. She
Yeah.
got a PhD at Governor State, and she
Yeah.
told me like, relax, chill out, take your time, because she was working full time. She burnt herself out. So she guided me, telling me like, slow down, don't try to do everything. But you know me, Aaron, I'm always a delegator. That's Aaron. He likes to be at the forefront. I'm a delegator.
Hey, I'm with you on that Dilly game, bro. I'm trying to figure out how to maximize my time to the fullest.
Yeah.
When you the boss, I told you got to train them up so good that they only calling you about, I made the right decision. Yes, you did. Talk to you later.
Hey, well, bro, you see I'm in Cincinnati now, and we still
I know.
running and
I'm so
growing. So
proud of you.
I listen
I
because
was
I
so
remember you was
proud
in
of
my
you.
office. You like Aaron. And I was like, bro, I took that to heart when you said that. I'm like, yeah, he right. So hey, we growing out there. I ain't even got to be there,
man.
you know what I'm
That's
saying?
great.
But no, Rod, have you ever been down there to his office?
Grow?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is right
Yeah,
up the street from my house, actually. Yeah.
everybody, man, you being a black man and seeing this black man that I saw, college, doing his little Kappa stroll, and now he got this big old business. He employed all these black people. It's so black, Aaron. Like,
Yeah.
I really want to give you your flowers, bro. I think it makes you uncomfortable, but that is so inspiring, bro, for real.
Yeah. I think it's just one of those things where, he's receiving it. He's receiving it. It's just one of those things where when your vision is so big, right? It's so big, and the flowers that you get, in your mind are like incremental because your vision is just so large. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's receiving it. He knows he's been impactful.
But when you look at a painting, right? A painting is already beautiful, not just when it's finished.
Yeah.
The
Right.
process of it is beautiful.
Yeah.
So if you ask somebody to look at a painting and ask them what they see, they're gonna see what they want to see.
Yeah.
So you could say you want it this big, but you can't not.
These are facts.
Yeah, the process is still just as beautiful.
Yeah.
As you know what I mean?
Sometimes the process is even more beautiful than the finished product, because the process exposes so much about you, right? About you, which brings us to our next point, right? Because we're coming near a close here. We're going to talk about 3 important variables to success, right? At this point in my life, I can tell you right now, it's consistency, right? It's capacity building through relationships. And it's learning power dynamics, right? Because my vision is to build institutions. That's why I'm hell bent on supporting Aaron and his vision, man, because we have to build institutions, bro. We have to inform policy, right? Because we've all done some grassroots work, right? We've all done some work on the grassroots level, man, but how can we impact policy? And have it to the point to where it's permeating worldwide, right? It's so impactful that the results and the impact is being felt worldwide, then we're doing something. So 3 important variables to success, Brian. You're on mute. Okay, there you go.
3 important variables to success. Faith, so some spirituality, focus, so knowing when you should concentrate and sit still and process the FOMO, fear of missing out. And the last one I will say is failure. I think the reason why I say failure is because like if you don't fail,
I know where you're going.
you won't know to keep going.
Yeah.
So and people look at your life and they look at you like and it's sad that like in our culture we got to talk about our failures, right, to make you legit. Like, I failed the license exam, twice, and I passed it on my 3rd time, and I'm not afraid to say I failed it because I knew I was gonna pass it one fucking day. Like, you know what I mean? Because that's who I am. Like, tell me I can't do something. Tell me if I tell myself I can't do something, I'm gonna do it. Like the other day, like last week, I live about 3 miles from campus. I was like, and Howard is a hilly campus. If you ever visited Howard, I told myself I was gonna run the campus from my house and back. And I'm 32 years old. Bro, when I tell you I was hurting,
You ran?
yes. I
You
ran
went
to
to class sweaty, bro?
bro. No, I didn't run. I didn't go to class. It was on a Sunday. I didn't have class.
Oh, you just go.
I'm just saying
I
that
got you.
I'd be so mad that hill be kicking my ass during the week
Yeah.
that I said, I ain't gonna lie, I told one of my colleagues, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna make this hill my bitch by the summertime.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's
you
like,
go conquer that hill. He's conquering the hill.
that hill is so steep, it kick your ass.
Yeah.
So one day I woke up, I was like, I'm running that hill today. So I ran that hill, ran back home. I was hurting. My body was sore, but I just know that that's how I'm built. You know what I mean? So like, if I tell myself that I can't do something, I'm going to prove it to myself that I can. And I think that people don't realize that you fail all the time. You don't always fail. You just don't stop. So
Don't stop.
yeah, faith, focus, and failure.
There it is. Aaron,
Man,
3 important variables to success.
Positive mindset, persistence, hard work.
That's so dope, man. Hey, listen, bro. I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate having someone, and multiple people who look like me that, I can text anytime, night or day. I can kind of vent
Well, I
about
look like
what
you.
this process is looking like. What do you say, Brian?
I look like you. We kind of nice.
Here we go, man.
I told you most of these guys be crazy.
Brothers are hard time. You see, I be minding my business.
Yeah, man, but I really appreciate it, man. The fact that we're able to connect, man, and build a support system, man, outside of our institutions, man, and just kick the bobos. We don't even have to intellectualize our conversation, bro. We could just really talk about what we want to talk about. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So I always say that in class. I'm like, damn, what's y'all favorite? Who y'all favorite rapper or something?
Yes. Yeah,
like,
man.
I'm so tired of talking about deep shit all day.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that, man. That's a form of therapy for me. I don't know how y'all might feel about that, but our group chat is very important to me. We all started our PhD programs at the same time. We're all on the same pace. We're all taking very similar course content. You know what I mean? And we're all supportive of each other on this journey, man. So I just really appreciate that, man. Closing comments, Aaron. Closing comments.
Man, it's just been a joy to connect, a joy to fellowship virtually. And like I hope that this podcast gives hopes and inspiration to the audience where, like, bro, like, I think I'm in this space and people kind of tell me a lot, like, Aaron, you moving fast, Aaron, you doing a lot, or Aaron, like, slow down, or Aaron, we get one life. I'm about legacy. Like, yo, I want legacy. Like, I think about my death a lot, and not like necessarily like dying, but just like how I be remembered.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I want to be remembered for somebody that helped a lot of people, that created change, that and that fulfilled his purpose. That God, like, yeah, you I set you out on a mission and you did it. Job well done, son. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's because life is so precious and it's short. Like, we get this conception that, we don't know, like, tomorrow could be our last day. Ain't speaking that on nobody, but we just don't know, right? And so for me, is time is so valuable. It's the most valuable thing that we have. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, money, you can get money back, you get everything back. You don't get your time back.
Time back, bro.
And so for me, is because it's so limited, I value it, and I also want to be intentional about what I do with it, And so for me, like, I just hope that this is an inspiration to everyone here. You gotta have balance. We ain't talking about that, but like, first semester I didn't have balance, and second semester I'm way more balanced. Still productive, but just those two. You asked us in the beginning, values, God, family for me, right? Those two things got to be on point, right? And my purpose, right? But like, time is my most valuable thing. Like, it's just like gold. So with that, I just hope that this podcast has provided some form of inspiration, and to everybody listen, like, yo, you want to get a PhD, you can do it. The sky's the limit. There's no limits. The sky ain't even the limit. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you want, you can have, you can achieve it. But as long as you believe in yourself, you put that grind, you got to keep God first and just get at it, you can have it,
Amen. Brian, closing remarks.
You know what people be like, not to piggyback off. I'm sorry. then they say exactly what the person said.
Yeah, right.
but
stupid.
I just hope people, get from this podcast that it's possible for them, like that they can really listen to what we're saying. As far as, like, you can be afraid, you can have doubt, you can have all the fears in the world, but if God spoke to you to complete a mission, and keep going and carry something out, like, something is gonna happen to show you that this is you're going in the right direction. Yeah, like, you could do it too. Like, like, you could literally do it too. You could do whatever it is you want to do if you believe in yourself. And it might sound cheesy, but it's the truth. There are days I don't believe in myself, but if I don't believe in myself today, that means I'm gonna go hard tomorrow. And that's just what it is. I gotta sleep. I need to sleep on it, because tomorrow is up, and like, just have God. Like, man, God has been a very, center point in my life. So how about this? So, like, I'm about to get real spiritual before. So anytime I've ever made a big decision in my life to go to college, to move away, go to grad school, I've, like, fast, I've been celibate, I've done all these different spiritual things to get to God to speak to me in a way in which that I need him to speak to me, him or her or they, whoever, to speak to me. And I'm not saying that I don't believe in that good behavior means good value. I don't believe God valuing me based on my good behavior towards him or towards her or towards they. I believe that you have to become one with your spirit and your body in order for you to understand when God is speaking to you. So do whatever it is you need to do to, to really know what the Spirit is guiding you to do. And that has nothing to do with you being good enough for God. We're always good for God. And yeah, so when I take the time to sit down and take my time and listen and meditate and pray or whatever, fast, whatever I need to do, it's clear. Like, there's this unspoken thing that is very clear. God is not a mystery. God is clear. God is consistent. God is infinite. God is available now if you allow the Spirit to speak to you. So, clear out your distractions, whatever they are, because they can come in as bad habits, right? Or not bad habits. They can come in as maladaptive behaviors, right? That doesn't mean that you're not good. You can still go get your drink and still be good. I'm saying that you have to take things away, distractions away, to allow the Spirit to speak. Yeah, so believe in yourself that you can do it, and I hope that they get young people watching this. I think about my legacy too, like when I go, and it's to leave an imprint that good people existed, and good people exist,
Yeah.
and I mean like good human beings, like because we see a lot of atrocity and a lot of terror and a lot of bad things in the world, but Jesus walked this earth before, and he was good, and I think that there's still good people that exist. So just being a good person, and I don't think that my legacy has to be this big thing. Like my name has to be known by a million people. I think once you feel my spirit and you feel me, you know how I move. I think that's memorable enough. I've never had to go in rooms and reintroduce myself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man, this has been really powerful, man. And for me, it's all encompassing. I think about your comment, Brian, about how taxing it is to be an African American male therapist. Out of all the successes that I've been able to be a part of, right, in the lives of young people, I had a young man on my caseload. Well, he wasn't on my caseload any longer, but he had once been on my caseload, and his mom called me. He's in Detroit. Mom called me to say he had got shot 12 times and killed, right? And then I come back to Chicago, and at this time, it was Aaron that gave me the call and was like, man, I think you should take this position. And so I took the position. This was before I went private practice. I was at this nonprofit here on the south side of Chicago, and another young man gets killed, right? And it's all encompassing for me because now I'm looking at Aaron, and he's talking about like his flight lessons, right? He's taking flight lessons, and he's looking at buying a plane, and but more so than that, his research is rooted in gun violence. You see what I mean? And these two young men, one was in the juvenile drug court in Detroit, and the other one was at a nonprofit that served children and adolescents who had mental health diagnoses, right? And one was here in Chicago. When he got killed, he had the gun on him. As a matter of fact, he initiated the confrontation, and so it's all encompassing. We're presented with what we need, right? With everything that we need is within us, but then the opportunity presents itself for us to broaden our base, right? And so, I'm just real appreciative, man. I mean, all of us have already done tremendous things, but Aaron said this: not even the sky is the limit. There is no limit. I love it, man. I love it. Hey, Brian, Aaron has already engaged in this, so here's what I'm going to do as we close. We have this final segment. It's called Bring Some Weed. I got a story to tell, and I don't even smoke. Now, in this segment of the podcast, I like to afford our guests an opportunity to tell a story of their choice, no matter what it is, right? So now is your time, because we have to afford you the opportunity, brother. You have the stage.
A story.
It's always difficult for people because I spring it on them.
So, I got a story. So one time, like, it relates to what I said, like, how God speak to you, right? I feel like God speak to you in very subtle ways. If you miss it, you miss it. One time I was like 27, I was living in LA, and all I'm gonna say, I was a little reckless in LA. Not super reckless. I've never been so reckless, but I was a young man, single, exploring myself, dating, having a lot of sex, just living. Wasn't sleeping much, wasn't taking care of myself pretty much, like just working full time, hitting every happy hour, rooftop brunch, just doing my thug thizzle. And I literally remember this moment because I think that people, sometimes you move so fast. Like, Aaron logged in, he was driving. He was like, "Oh, I'm headed to my office." Like, stuff like this. You do stuff like this when you put too much stuff in your day, right? I had to cancel another meeting because we was meeting today. I got a haircut, I went to boxing class, and I don't have to do every single thing in one day. You know what I mean? So anyway, long story short, I just got off work. I probably had 2 hours of sleep from the previous night of partying and kicking it. It's probably 115 degrees, it's burning up. I'm hot as ever. And the minute you get to the house, you like take out the garbage, put on my favorite, start cooking, meal prep, put the dishes in. I literally had my mind set on all the different things that I had to do. And guess what happened? I locked myself out of my apartment, moving too fast. And my roommate at the time, he was a flight attendant, so he wasn't there. And did I say it was 100 and motherfucking 15 degrees? So God told my ass to sit down.
Yeah.
I sat on my front porch like this, y'all. Like, it's 115 degrees out here, and I'm burning up and waiting for my landlord. And she's like, "I'm in meetings, I can't come." My neighbor brought me some water. I had to sit still. When's the last time? Imagine that. I just told you I've been partying all week, no sleep, going to work, moving around, going to the gym, bouncing off the wall. And God was like, "I need you to sit down for 3 hours in 115 degrees, and your neighbor gonna bring you ice water to you." And I'll never forget stuff like this, because stuff like this always happens when you move in too fast. You'll be like, you'll run 60 errands and you'll get in the car and notice you don't have your wallet, or you lost your wallet, and you don't know where you put your wallet last because you had 7 meetings and you had to do all these grand things. And the reason why I'm telling this story, because it goes with what I was saying about when people watch this video, like, slow down. And I thought you would think that this would make you ever been so mad you want to like punch a wall, but you gotta laugh because it's your fault? That's literally what happened. I was so hot, y'all. I was sitting outside my apartment, hot as hell for like 3 hours, and my landlord came. I was so mad, y'all. And so grateful that she came, because I just went in the house and sat my ass down. So if you stay distracted, you won't hear God speak, but God can speak to you by forgetting your keys in 115 degrees. So, like, that's all. That's my story.
Hey, I appreciate that, brother. Yes, Chicago's ILLectuals podcast. We call this episode the PhD Journey episode. This has been another episode of Chicago's ILLectuals podcast. Until next time, we're going to say peace, peace, peace.
Peace.